socialism. When somebody is attacking another person for being a socialist, if it's a true statement, then that's one thing. If it's not true, then obviously that's name-calling. But if somebody actually does support the forced redistribution of wealth, then that is a generally socialist concept.
And state ownership of the means of production, I think, is another
it's also socialist
aspect. And the point I'd like to make on this is essentially every government model that we've experienced up to this point is socialism.
That's true.
If you look at democracy,
whether it's Republicans or Democrats or Whigs or Tories,
a republic, a democracy, an autocracy, socialism itself, whatever you look at, the state owns the means of production because it claims to own the land. If you're paying property taxes, you're paying them because the government will kick you off your land. Tell me what is the operable difference between rent and property taxes? Because I don't see there is any difference. To me, property taxes indicate that you're renting your land from the state, and therefore all of the things that you buy, which, by the way, they claim to be able to charge you sales tax on, the labor that you put into those things they can tax you on. So the government claims to own all your property, or at least own the transaction to purchase the property, to own your labor, and to own your land. You're telling me that the government isn't a socialist organization?
I think most socialists, like a lot of people who advocate for things that are immoral, have good intentions. And so the immorality is to force people into your little program of your grand scheme of who should get what and how things should be distributed over here, over there. We were talking earlier with another caller about how some people want to force their morality upon people, through social restrictions and laws and such. Like, now they're in L.A. they're going to force porn actors to wear condoms. But some people want to force their morality on people, and others would like to force their view of who should get what, which is also another kind of moral view, I guess. Like, that people should give money to charity, right? That's a good idea. Let's help people that are in need of help. But when you take the volition out of it, when you take the virtue out of it by forcing people to give money to an organization that redistributes wealth, it's become a bankrupt action. Yeah, some organization is getting money, and yeah, they may be giving it to some people that could use some assistance, but if you've forced people to participate in it, you've taken away all of the value from that interaction, from that action. And so all I would suggest to the socialist out there, one who would call themselves a socialist, or one who would call themselves, one who supports wealth redistribution, is find a way to do it voluntarily. Because you're not going to be able to create a perfect, completely evenly wealth-distributed world by force. Because force doesn't work. It creates unintended consequences. And you'll never be able to, in the same way that social conservatives will never be able to mold society in the way that they want. Social conservative who wants to ban drug use will never be successful at stopping people from altering their states of consciousness. In the same way, the grand schemer who sees that everyone should have an equality of income, or that the boss should only make 25% more than the workers, or whatever their vision is for how the world should be, is as absurd as the social conservative saying that I want everyone to be a Christian. I mean, sorry, you don't get to, even with the threat of force, even with the threat of violence based on the idea of the state, you will never get to whatever this utopia is that you are expecting. So come up with voluntary means to help people. Come up with consensual ways to redistribute wealth. Come up with ideas that persuade people to join you in your efforts. And if someone doesn't want to join you, then allow them to have their life in the way that they want. In the same way, if that gay person doesn't want to turn into a straight person to make your church group happy, that should be okay. You can be all right if people are different. If people make choices that are different from your choices, it'll be all right. 855-450-FREE. So just let go of the violence, and then we can get along.